Well, our next case is the callous murder of Nicola and Harry Fuller at their cottage in the village of Wadhurst in Sussex. The couple had only been married 6 months, and their families are finding it painfully hard to come to terms with the tragedy. During our reconstruction, you'll hear the actual voice of a man police are desperately trying to trace. We begin at a shopping precinct in Tunbridge Wells, where Nicola had been working part-time.
Oh, that's nice. Is it for someone special?
Well, for my boyfriend.
Would you like some ribbon?
Yes, please.
Nicky was a shy, private, quiet, dainty little girl, really.
I hope he likes it.
I'm sure he will. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Harry was just the opposite. He was considerably older than her. A very likeable character, though, larger than life, but he seemed to come from a different way of life than that we were used to.
He brought Nicky out of her shell, and she seemed to really enjoy life, being with him.
Right you are then. OK, you're a gentleman. Just leave it to me. No problem. Cheers, mate.
Harry was always very protective towards Nicky. There was always a house full of flowers.
They met in June and the wedding was in August. The whole thing we thought was rather quick, but it was like a roller coaster. Once it started, there was no way of stopping it. But again, they were very happy. We grew to like him very much. He used to come here to Sunday lunch most weekends. He seemed to be looking for a sort of a family unit, and he certainly became a very popular member of the family.
Hello? OK, mate. Look, leave it to me.
Harry Fuller bought and sold cars. Most of his business was done on the phone.
I don't know, but if you leave it to me, I'll try and get it down a bit. No problem at all. OK, cheers.
Although he didn't read or write well, he had an eye for a good deal. A lot of his transactions were done in cash, and he often carried large amounts of money around.
Lot number 201 coming in, the Vauxhall Cavalier, the 1600L, January of 1989.
The day before he died, Harry spent the early part of the afternoon with a friend.
I've known Harry for about 13 years. I asked him to get me a vehicle because, having bought me one before, I knew he'd get me something reasonable. And I spent a couple of hours on that day with him at the auctions.
At £2,400 is selling for the first, at £2,400 selling for the second, third and final time, £2,400 K, your car, sir.
Harry was always buying cars and looking for somewhere to store them. When he got the house at Wadhurst, it was like him winning the pools because he got a free car park there for all the cars he wanted to park.
It was last October that Harry and Nicola had moved to Sussex and rented Blackman's cottage in Wadhurst. It's Tuesday evening. Nicola was going out to a reunion with some friends at a restaurant in Tunbridge Wells.
Okay. I better go and get ready.
Oh, your friend phoned earlier on, but she's going to ring you back later.
A few days earlier, Harry started recording his phone calls. No one knows why. This is the only caller police haven't been able to identify.
How are you doing?
Very well indeed. It couldn't be better.
I popped over last night to see you.
What time?
About 7.
I was up the gym, up at the golf club at Tysus.
There were some lights on, but I knocked.
Right. See you in the morning, my darling.
Hey, matey.
8 o'clock.
Take care.
Bye.
Ciao for now.
Harry was a late riser, and to agree to an early morning meeting was very unlike him.
Oh, it's Harry. He's on time.
Harry had arranged to meet Nicola at the restaurant at about 11 o'clock to bring her home.
Thursday. You're going Thursday? Yeah, to Lanzarote.
Nicky was one of my closest friends. We'd known each other for a number of years. We used to go out together.
Yeah, I hope so. It'll be a nice break, you know. Hello, Harry.
Hello.
Nicky and Harry seemed very happy together. They were going on holiday to Lanzarote the following week. She was really excited about going to get suntan before the summer.
Early the next morning, a postman was startled by a car pulling out from behind the Fuller's cottage.
It's normally very quiet in the morning. A dirty blue Ford Escort pulled out in front of me, which caught me by surprise. The passenger seemed 35 to 40, tall and well built, and the vehicle travelled towards Tunbridge Wells.
Half an hour later, at about 7 o'clock, a witness saw two men get out of a cream-coloured Sierra and walk up the path to the cottage. The witness who saw these men gave the information anonymously. Police need him to contact them again.
Hello, old son.
Nobody saw the two men leave, but we know that Harry went out of the cottage about an hour and a half later, leaving the door ajar.
Good morning, can I help you?
20 Embassy number 1, please.
Thank you. 226, thank you. That's £10, thank you very much.
Thanks, cheers.
Bye-bye.
Nicky had gone to a reunion on Tuesday night, and I hadn't spoken or seen her since Sunday, so I decided to ring her at 8:45, and I rang and the line was engaged, and I continued to ring every 5 minutes until 9:15.
Nicola and Harry Fuller had been shot dead just 10 minutes after Harry's visit to the tobacconist.
You know, she just seems to have found happiness and then suddenly it's snatched away from her, which seems dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Anyone could do that to her. I feel that this part of me has gone, and there is this big hole that's never going to be filled. And I do miss her so.
Well, of course, it's going to be absolutely crucial, isn't it, Superintendent Hill, to discover who that unidentified caller is. We can listen to that call again. Our engineers have taken Harry's voice out of the tape you're about to hear, so that the only voice on the tape is the caller's voice. Do you know who this is?
How are you doing? First thing. Too early for you? About 8. I popped over last night to see you. There were some lights on. He's gone away. He's left them with his missus. So we'll zip down there. Won't be long. About, what, 10, 15 minutes. They're down the other side of Roberts Bridge.
So that's just the caller's side of the conversation. And that meeting was arranged very close to the time that Nicola and Harry were killed. So until this man comes forward, he's got to be your prime suspect.
It's absolutely crucial we find this man. So far we haven't found him and he hasn't come forward. There may be some reason for that, but we really need to find him, and I would ask anybody who's listening tonight who either recognises his voice or who thinks they recognise his voice to please make contact with us. Alternatively, if the man concerned is listening and he himself wants to contact us for us to eliminate him, then please contact us.
Do you think he might be called Steve, or...?
Well, there's an indication that he might be called Steve. However, I would want anybody who might recognise the voice, irrespective of whether the person is called Steve or not, to contact us.
Now, you want the witness who saw the men in the cream Sierra to come forward again, but you have another witness who saw another car and a man early that morning.
That's correct. Just after 8 o'clock that morning, in the car park at the rear of Blackman's cottage, a lady saw a long black bonneted vehicle, something like a Jaguar, pull up, and a man get out of the vehicle, and he was fairly distinctive in that he was wearing a very long black coat, almost to the ground. We would like anybody else who saw that man, or indeed saw the vehicle, to make contact with us.
And if you know who that voice was on the phone call, if you can shed any light at all on this case, please do call us. There's a substantial reward for information leading to arrest and charge. The number here in the studio is 08181118181. Our lines here are very busy, as they were last month, so do take a special note of the incident room number at Sussex Police Headquarters, and that's 0273 480 999. That's 0273, the code for Lewis, 480 999.